Good morning, everybody. This is Sonja with Hiking with Sonja. I'm still here in South Dakota, and it feels good. Today we're having a little cooler day. They actually got some heat here. We had some pretty good heat here the last few days. So today is a little cooler, and it feels really good. My time is short here in South Dakota. I'm going to be headed to Yellowstone National Park here in 2 days, and it's just been phenomenal being here in South Dakota. I'm near sturgeon and spearfish, and it's been just fantastic. Well, today what I want to talk about is there's several things I'm going to talk about. Something that there's a big learning experience for me here recently, and it's regarding spiritual ego. And I don't know if I'd had ever really heard that term until recently. I grew up in fundamental churches where there's, preached hell and damnation and a lot of guilt, a lot of should. You should do this, you should do that, you should be this, you should be that. Yeah, but then behind the scenes, the preachers, the pastors, some of them would have affairs, drinking themselves into oblivion. And so to me, that's false teaching. You're standing up there and you're telling people how they should be living, but behind the scenes, you're doing the opposite. To me, that's false teaching. And for whatever reason, I thought spiritual community was different. I don't know why. I thought that I wouldn't run into any of that. And I'm not saying all the spiritual community is that way. It's not. But I'm learning that there are a lot of false teachers out there in the spiritual community that teach and preach, but that's not what they live. They live a double life. So what I'm learning is discernment. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean it's true for me. I'm learning discernment. And I'm also learning the difference between projecting and mirroring. I thought everything was a mirror that I had that was going on with me. Well, only if it's a trigger, if it's a negative trigger. If somebody says something to you and it doesn't resonate with you, use it as a check-in point. Does this apply to me? Is this something in my reality? Is this something I feel? And if it is, well then, and it triggers you, well then that means that is something you need to work on. That they're mirroring back to you something in probably your unconscious, subconscious mind that is a shadow that you need to work on. But now if it does not resonate with you at all, and they're just projecting their fear, their anger onto you, recognize that as their stuff, their projection. And I just recently had this happen to me, and I found it like kind of confusing. And what I've learned to do is discernment. Does this apply to me? No, it didn't. So don't take it on. And speak your truth. If someone is going through a dark night and they're in a dark place and they're projecting their stuff onto you, you do want to show compassion for that person. But you don't want to take it on. Misery loves company. Don't join them. Don't join their misery. Yes, that's not your responsibility to do that. Show them compassion, but be authentic. Speak your truth. Don't let anybody tell you not to speak your truth. But don't react in anger or, I don't know, but speak your truth. What I'm finding out too is that spiritual ego. What is spiritual? I didn't know what spiritual ego is. People that have been in the spiritual community a long time, and they've done a lot of studying, they've done a lot of work, they've done a lot of videos, they've had a zillion teachers, and they know, but they don't use. They don't apply it to their lives, and that's spiritual ego. Or I think probably a better definition is that they start feeling like they're better than you. Nobody is above you or below you. You run into someone who has the attitude that, oh, they're enlightened, they know more than you. Yeah, you kind of want to avoid that person, because they don't. The person that knows the most for you is you. Listen to yourself. That's the most important thing to do, is listen to you. Me, myself, and I. That's your higher self, that's your ego, that's your inner child. Listen to all three of those. And it's okay to have teachers. I do. I have teachers. I've had several teachers, and I have learned a lot. But at the end of the day, what matters is what I think, what applies to me. Use discernment. And don't take on someone's negativity. Don't do that. In the past I've done that. No more. I don't do that. And just because someone's been a spiritual teacher for forever, and they've done all the videos and classes and everything, doesn't mean they know more than you. Because they don't. Nobody is above you, nobody's below you. And as you start growing and you do start learning more, and you do want to share with other people, be aware that you don't take on the spiritual ego of that, oh, you're more enlightened. Don't start looking down on people. Don't do that. I've seen that happening too. And I don't know why, for whatever reason, I didn't think I was going to run into that in the spiritual community, but unfortunately it's there. So use discernment. I was real good at spiritual bypass. There's a difference between spiritual bypass and spiritual ego. Spiritual bypass is when you pretend everything's okay when it's not. I was real good about that. That was avoiding working on your shadows. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, also spiritual bypassing to me is when you start thinking, well, I'm the spiritual one, I'm the nice one, and then you start letting people walk all over you and wipe their feet on you and treat you like a rug. Yeah, I did that too. Don't do that. That's spiritual bypassing. Yeah. Stand in your truth. Speak your truth. Always. Be authentic. And if you trigger other people by being authentic, that's their stuff to work on. Don't dim your light. That was something else I was doing. I don't want to offend somebody. I don't want to make somebody else feel bad because I'm doing really well. That's called dimming your light, people. Don't dim your light because somebody else is going through a hard time and you're going through a great time and it triggers them. Don't do that. Don't dim your light. And if somebody else is going through a hard time and they're projecting their shit onto you, don't take their shit on. Do show them compassion, but don't dim your light, and always speak your truth. Don't project back anything negative to them, but speak your truth. Speak it. And be aware, especially teachers and shamans, and that's another thing too. If somebody is feeling like they are more enlightened, they're a spiritual guru, they're a shaman, and they're better than you, no. We're all shamans. We're all teachers. Whether just by living our life as an example, that's being the best teacher. And nobody's above you, but nobody's below you either. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, showing compassion. You do want to show compassion for people that are going through a dark time. Because we all have our ups and downs, it's just part of life. But I'm finding I'm having less up and downs. And honor that, and listen to you. But if somebody's going through a hard time, it's okay to be compassionate to them. But don't lose your voice. And whatever you do, don't join them. Misery loves company. They want you to feel miserable too, because that's what they want. Misery loves company. Don't join them. Be an example. Be supportive, but don't that's something else I used to do is I would never speak my truth. I was afraid to speak my truth because, oh, it might offend somebody. Oh, fucking offend them, people. Speak your truth. Don't dim your light. Be authentic. Be who you are. And if you are going through a dark time, as you're learning more and more about this stuff, be aware. Don't project your shit onto other people. Be aware of it. It's something that's really been important or really helped me is, this is all a movie, people. This is all a simulation. This is our movie. We're the director. We create all this. You are the creator of your reality. And if something's not going right in your reality and it's just, and a lot of times things will happen that later on we'll see, oh, that's why that happened. So not, Jess uses a negative is always a shortcut. So not everything is like bad. It's not good or bad. It's just sometimes things happen in our reality that actually get us farther along down the path, so to speak. But step out of the theater. When things aren't going well, I've been using time and space, and I step out into the hallway, smell that popcorn, get out of that fucking theater, and edit your movie, and then go back in. Change your reality. Change it. You're the director. This is your reality. This is your movie. You're in charge. Change it. And then the final step, I think, probably for me, that's been really helpful is let it go. Let it all fucking go. Let it go. There's a book, and I don't promote a lot of books, but this book I do. It's called Letting Go by Dr. David Hawkins. Hawkins. And I do really recommend it. It's very good on the steps of how to let go, to surrender it. Do everything you can do in your reality. And when you've gone as far as you can, let it go. Surrender it. And be okay with the outcome. Sometimes, we don't see the big picture sometimes, the final outcome. And you're going through a hard time. Well, this may get you to where you want to go. And you'll look back and think, oh yeah, I'm glad that did happen to me. And gratitude. Take time every day to be grateful. And as always, get out in nature. One of the ways I move out negative energy is we all go through negative times and feelings and emotions. One of the best ways I move out negative energy is right out here. I'm a hiker. Movement. You can get that movement walking around the block. You can get that in a swimming pool, in a beach. Get in that ocean. Get in that river. Nature. Even the gym. Movement. Nature movement moves out negative energy. Journal. When you get hit with a trigger, a negative, time and space, just step out of that theater, go into a quiet room, sit, let those feelings move out. Feel them to heal them. I did something else I used to do was stuff my feelings. Don't do that. Don't stuff them. Feel them. It's okay to be angry. There's a little bit in this love and light spiritual community that's bullshit, is that you shouldn't feel anger or you shouldn't go through a hard time. That's bullshit. We all do. We all feel anger sometimes. Feel it. It's okay. Throw that tantrum. Just don't project it out onto other people. Do it. Throw your tantrum when nobody's at home. Oh, I throw tantrums out here sometimes. That's a good way. But movement is the way I really move out negative energy. But do it the way it works best for you. Journaling, tapping, whatever works for you. Move that energy out and let it go. Surrender. And remember to play and have fun. And listen to yourself. The only opinion that really matters is yours. Listen to yourself. I think sometimes we get too wrapped up in what other people think and say. And that's not the most important thing. It's okay to have a teacher. It's okay to have a guru. But the most important thing is that you listen to yourself. Okay, everybody, have a good day.